Hi, this is the YouTube tutorial for the first Ring a Kerry block of the month, and as you can see we've picked a fairly easy block to start you off with, and this one is based on Killarney National Park. I've been asked by some people to actually show my fabric selection to help you with your selection, so I'm going to show you the fabrics I've chose to remake this block and do this tutorial. So some of the fabrics I don't have anymore, but I've just picked some ones that are different, and you know, sort of anything goes. At the end of the day it'll be your piece. So as you can see, the block is quite three-dimensional, and that's just because of the selection of the fabrics and the dark on top of the background, which creates contrast. So this is actually some of the fabric that I've used first day, but I didn't use any of the pink, so I just fussy cut some of the around the fabric, some of the darker areas, and actually there was a little bit of sky in that as well, which is what's created this. But you could use your own sky fabric. You could always put in a piece like this if you don't have landscape fabrics to create sort of the effects down here. There's a little bit of sort of mottled blue, which would be good if you wanted to add in a little bit of sky. And here is some grass fabric, which you could also add in, but that also works as foliage. And then you'll see here I've got my trees. Some of them are pre-cut. This is just a piece of brown, and then that's a piece of hand dyed. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how to go about putting the block together. Okay, so you've on the instructions it tells you to cut your foundation background. Okay, so this is what that will look like, and here I've made the background up already with some of the fabrics that I've shown you, and these are just pieces cut, and I've put them onto the background with a little bit of basting spray. You don't have to use basting spray, you can use a glue pen, or you can just use pins. So as you can see, I've built up the background, and it's quite random and scrappy and lots of little bits. You can take more care with this if you want. I've just done this fairly quickly for the purpose of the tutorial. So now I'm going to put my trees on top. Okay, so I've cut out some of these trees already. So really just audition the trees to see where you feel like they look right. It doesn't have to be exactly the same as the as my one. Make your own version and feel free to make changes. That's what it's all about, being creative and putting your own twist in. You can see that's starting to come to life already. And now this block is a little bit bigger than it's going to end up, and so that's why some of the trees aren't quite fitting, because it's going to, at the end of the day, it's going to be trimmed down a little bit. If you read the instructions, it will tell you that. So I've fused that onto the fusible webbing already and peeled off the backing. So I'm just going to iron these in place, and you can see that's already starting to come to life. Now don't worry about the raw edges at the background, because when you quilt it at the end, that will fix it, all the background and everything down. And plus these raw edges do add a little bit of texture. So I'm just going to show you on the sewing machine. Okay, so we're just going to do a zigzag stitch down each side. Okay. And just use the same colour thread as the tree you're working on, so I'll get a lighter thread for that. Okay, and that's all you have to do is stitch down your trees, and then when we come to finish the quilt off later on, we'll be adding some texture into the trees with quilting. So that is your block for this month basically. Just take your time on layering up the background and make your own very Killarney National Park. Thanks!